All right, all right. Welcome to another episode of Jam
Jam
Buds.
buds.
So, today, Madam Red and I will be discussing some traumas that shaped us. We are
This
going
is
to get a little in it. Let's get the music, background music
because,
playing.
as if the last episode of current events wasn't traumatizing enough,
Right now, we're about to trauma dump.
we finna trauma dump.
So, we do have some, and I was just saying, don't mind me if I sound crazy. I'm, battling some kind of, cold. As you can see, I'm sure I look crazy,
Bitch, I
but
hate that you was like, I'm battling.
I'm battling it. Okay, I'm battling that shit. It's taking me the fuck out. I'm on 3
What
HP.
is happening?
Shit is flashing. It's flashing before my eyes.
No, I understand. Anything with my nose, I'm just like off with my life.
So, so for this episode and the next few episodes are gonna kind of be dealing with a theme of dealing with shit in the world in the way that we deal with it. They're big enough topics that we were able to split them up so it's not a 6-hour episode. Um, but the next few episodes will be following these. So this one's trauma. I know we got dealing with illnesses and chronic illness, neurodivergence and shit coming up. We got some good topics. You're gonna love it. So we're just gonna dive right into it. Don't mind me. I got Vicks on a tissue so I can breathe. So my best friend and I, we've been through some shit. Okay, we've been through some shit. We're gonna talk about the ones that we feel a little bit more comfortable talking about. Um, but we got some shit. So
I, I'm so sorry. I'm reading the traumas that shaped us, and it says buying insurance in a Walmart parking lot.
when you turned around and took all your fucking tax money, that's pretty fucking
Do you want some
traumatizing.
insurance? I have some insurance in my pockets.
The
In my
insurance in my
trench coat.
pocket. It's right
This is
here.
my insurance trench coat.
Open the fucking thing. I got Progressive. I got Affleck. I've got Geico. I got Blue
It's
Cross
just
Blue
car
Shield.
insurance. Okay.
No, that's what I said. One side is all the car stuff. The other side is
Oh.
health insurance. What do you need? What do you need?
So, let us begin.
Let us let us pray.
Dear Jesus, Money Crystal Christ.
Stop traumatizing me.
I am not your strongest soldier.
I'm
Please.
not your strongest warrior. I don't want to be. I
Like,
just want to be a weak little bitch.
please, I don't need any more character development. I'm overdeveloped. If you develop me anymore, I will cease to exist.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. No more. No more shaping. I have been shaped enough and traumatized enough. Let me tell you that.
Right? Like, if you overshape the dough, then you can't use it anymore. You're
Right.
overshaping me, okay? You're
Too much.
overshaping me.
Too much. You're
I
making me
will
too
not be
brittle.
a good pizza. Do you want bad pizza?
You're literally making me brittle. You're brittling me.
Disgusted. Disgusting.
So I personally have dealt with a shit ton of abandonment because, and this will make more sense in a later episode. That's why I say it's like a theme that all comes together. I've had a lot of abandonment issues because I'm really bad at understanding certain social cues. And when I'm upset, I will tell somebody, "Hey, what you did upset me."
Right.
So a lot of people won't do that back, and I'm assuming a lot of time it's neurotypicals because they love hints and making you guess. And I'm just sitting here like, I don't want to guess. I want to tell you why I'm upset. If we can resolve it, we'll resolve it. I make mistakes. I'm human. I love owning up to them. If I make a mistake, and especially if I'm aware of it, I want to make it right. A lot of the times, people who have sworn that they believed in me and would never do certain things, like if I make a mistake, and nothing crazy, like I'm trying to even think of like some mistake, like misreading a situation. I don't realize that someone's upset, and I might like keep being a little bit blasé about it because I'm not realizing that they're upset. And I've gotten a lot better with it. Like I've started realizing like a lot of the times when people shut down, that's a big sign that they're upset with something. But I also know that some
Right.
people like to just be quiet. So like there are times where I'll be sitting in a place and my social battery runs out and I turn around and I just shut down, like, but just quiet. Like I don't shut down where I'm like, oh, I hate everybody here or like shit like that. So I've had friends that I thought would be around forever drop me over issues that just seem to be exacerbated.
Right.
Like I get that I did something that upset you and I would love to make it up to you. But if you take it in your head and make it worse and think the worst without talking to me about it, I can't make it better.
Right.
So if I do something that upsets you, I want you to tell me. And it's okay. Listen, I'm all for if someone is toxic or like draining your shit, you can cut them off. You can cut off anybody. You can block anybody, whatever it is. But if they're like a genuine person and you know they're genuine and like you've been through shit with the person, you can talk to them.
Right.
Like I know I get a little passionate, so like it always seems like I'm a little bit like, but I'm really not. Like I tell people something like, y'all can talk to me about anything. Like, Anthony, I don't like how you phrased this thing. I don't like, and I will literally be like, oh, I'm so sorry. This is what I meant. I'm sorry that it came out that way. I will do better in the future.
Right. Right. Correcting yourself.
Always. I think it's important to correct yourself. I think it's important to take a step back when you make mistakes, especially if like you've like when people like when I've had instances with people and it's been repeated where it's like they're like, oh well, this happened, and it's the next person said this happened, and the next person says it too. I'm like, okay, wait, no, this got to be me. I'm gonna take a step back and be like, what am I doing that is causing this same issue?
Right.
But a lot of the times, it's not the same issue, so I can't learn if I'm not told what the issue is.
Right. Right.
So a lot of my abandonment, like the stuff that I've been through with friends that have just like cut me off without giving me the chance to make it better, or at least even if you don't want to let me make it better, but at least still tell me what I did. Like, hey, listen, we've been friends for a really long time, but I don't really like the way you like do this or say this all the time. So I really am just gonna, we're gonna, okay, that's your choice. Like, and if maybe in the future, like we reconnect, sure, but and if not, whatever. But like, at least tell me so I can be better. I want to be better.
Right.
I want to do better. So I feel like that's just simple. Like, tell me that I did something to upset you.
Right. And tell me how to fix it. Like, that's what I think is weird about friendships. Like, if you want to be friends, like, even if we disagree with something, even if we get into a heated argument, even if like just crazy shit happens, like, are we friends? Like, if our is our friendship so fragile that one argument ends it all, one misunderstanding ends it all? That's what's a little, you're like, did I care more than you did then? Because that's wild.
Right. And that's another point that is very important. It's like, I don't think that arguments, and it's not even like arguments, like, I mean, if it's like a full blown argument where it's like we're cursing and screaming at each other, yeah, give it some time to like blow down and then try to reach out to apologize. Don't try to just brush it under the rug.
Right.
So I get that because I don't understand if we don't have issues, why one issue is enough to end a friendship that's been going on for an extended period of time.
Right.
It's just too much.
It's just too much. And plus, like, I guess it's so, my abandonment issues are like from all over my life. But but I feel like now I've been so broken down that I almost don't care if anybody leaves. At this point, I'm just like, okay, I can't even tolerate to entertain you anyway. I have so much shit going on. I'm trying to start my career. And unless you're paying my bills in this expensive ass economy, I'm sorry you could leave. Like at this point, I'm so tired. I can't even stay awake. I have so much homework to do. My life is just a mess. Leave me alone. Like I can't entertain anybody. I can't have anything in me to just give a fuck about somebody else at this point. You know what I mean? Does that make
Right.
sense without being rude?
No, and I get it because like when you pour, and that's one of the things that we have issues with a lot. We pour into everybody around us, and there are very few that pour back.
Right.
So the ones that just keep taking, leave us with nothing. And then they leave, like literally leave. And we're just like, okay, but if I poured all that into you and you could still go, why? Why am I doing that?
I mean, my thing is and my problem with, and mom, if you see this, you probably won't, but mom, if you see this, you're the reason where a lot of my abandonment issues begin with, because of everything that happened in my childhood, living in an abandoned house. So when my mom signed her rights away, it put a thought in my mind that if my parents don't want me, then who the fuck else is going to stay? Like, if not even my parents could stay, then who is going to stay?
And that shit fucks with you.
That it fucks with you. It fucks with your whole thing because you just, especially being in foster care. That's another topic in a couple of minutes, but especially like being in foster care and you see foster parents with their biological children, and then you see what a normal parent child relationship is supposed to be like, and you're just like, damn, why can't I have that? But you're still not treated like that because then you're not treated like them. You're not treated like the biological children. At least I wasn't. So
Right, because there's people out there that are unfortunately, I don't even understand how you get into foster care for the money.
right.
That doesn't sit right with me because like these are kids that have been literally abandoned in multiple ways, whether it was intentional abandonment or unintentional, like the death of parents or something that leave them an orphan and now they're in a system because there's no other family. Like these are already traumatized individuals.
Right.
Why would you get into something like that for greed? First off, it's not making you rich.
So, for foster care, they give you about, well, this was when I was in foster care. So this was foster care money then. Foster care money is probably more now. One, if you're a foster mom and all you do is be a foster mom, you don't have any other job, the state does not consider that a job. So the state will allow you to apply for food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, whatever the one is for not 65-year-olds or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
I think it's like Medicare. They allow you to apply for all of the state benefits. They allow you to have food stamps because foster care is not considered a job. So I was only worth $900 a month because I was old enough. I wasn't on medication. I was old enough to take care of myself. I was only in therapy, so they didn't get that much money for me directly, but $900 a month is what they got for me. And then if kids had problems, if you have like a therapeutic foster home, then you would get like $2,000 per child. If they were on medications, the more medications they're on. And back then, I'm not sure what the stipulations now are because, again, I'm not in the foster care system anymore. But back then, it was just simple classes that you had to attend to be certified to
That's
become a
crazy.
therapeutic foster family. So if you had foster kids who had autism, who had ADHD, who had like severe problems, you would get more money based on the issue that they had. The more care that you would have to do, you would get. So, not saying that you can't get rich off of it, but if
Now
your
the thing, yeah,
hand
if
in
you're,
a
if you're
couple,
taking people like that and you're not actually taking care of them, I can see where then you would be able to get kind of rich off that because two thousand
yes,
dollars a month, if you had like three severely disabled children, that's upwards of 6 grand a month for you to do nothing, especially if you're
and
not taking care of them.
that's for having them in the home. That's for paying their portion of your electric, your things. Their
Right.
medical bills are paid by the insurance. Their medical needs are paid, so their medication, their therapy, all of that is paid by the state. So when I was getting therapy, it wasn't coming out of my foster parents' pocket.
Right.
It wasn't coming out of that $900. That was coming out of my insurance, and anything that was needed to pay, they would give back to the foster agency, and they would get that money back for the copay. So
I
it's
just, I
not
mean,
like,
I guess it's because I'm not a piece of shit, but I really just still can't see myself signing up to go through all of that just for the money. I'm trying to
and
make a kid's
then
life better.
and then when I turned 16, I was told I needed to get a job, which fair.
Sure.
No shit about that, fair. So I got a job, but then all the money that was supposed to go to me monthly for clothing and shit, like $175 was a stipend a month for clothing, because I'm a teenager, I'm
Right.
growing. I never got that. I needed to use my own paycheck to buy my own clothes and to buy my own things. And it wasn't that they were terrible to me, that they locked me up, they didn't let me do things, because but when I lived in one of the homes, it wasn't until I lied and stole birth control pills, because I was 16. Was having sex, which was crazy. We were having sex protected, and I still thought, because I was a couple days late for my period, that I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. And we had a foster girl who was like, I asked her, I was like, yo, can I take one of your birth control pills? I heard that if you take it, then it'll get rid of it. That is absolutely a myth. That
We
is
were dumb
absolutely,
teenagers. What the fuck do we
we were
know?
dumb teenagers. So I stole it. And then when I was asked if I stole it, I lied at first. And I didn't even know why I lied. And I was like, oh, I shouldn't have lied.
You're a
And
traumatized teenager in foster care.
right. So the hindsight 2020, but like at the time I was just like, yeah, it was in fight or flight mode. So I was just like, I don't know. And then from that moment, I felt like I lost all of the trust in the house. And then it became, you don't get keys to the house. We don't really trust you. And I get it, but I'm also a kid who came from a really fucked up past. Like, my childhood was really fucked up, and I'm not normal, and my family was not normal, and I grew up not being normal for 9 years. If I was taken away when I was 2, when I was 1, when I was 9 months, it could be a whole different
Whole
story.
different
But
ballgame.
because I was a 9-year-old child, I was in 4th grade, I'm already reading. The national fucking average reading level is 4th grade. So imagine what most people can read to, I was reading at, because that's the grade I was fucking in. And I was missing a lot of school. Like, I was living in an abandoned house. My parents were on drugs. Like, shit was crazy. And I feel like nobody took that into consideration when I was in foster care, because they thought I was normal. I sound normal. I sound in mind. You wouldn't think that I have, you get to know me, you're like, oh, bitch, you're mentally ill. But upon first impression, you wouldn't think like, oh, this girl has mental illness. This girl has been through all these traumatizing things. This
I
girl
mean,
has
as far like
PTSD.
you even just said, from the outside, you seem very well adjusted. You hold a job. You get your shit done. You're not living in squalor. Like you literally have an animal depending on you that you take care of consistently. Like you're doing the thing. So when people look
I'm
at you,
doing the
they're gonna
things.
look at you and be like, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with you." Meanwhile, you're like, "I'm holding myself together by a frayed string,
Mm.
not even like a strong string." Yeah, no,
Honest to
it's
God.
sick.
So I tried to get past all of that. I try not to harbor. I do one day want to speak to my adopted parents. I feel like I have a lot of resentment against them the most, because they expected a lot out of me. They were the first people I had gone to after being in the environment I grew up in, and they were the first people that I was exposed to, and I wasn't allowed to eat with my mouth open. Like, I used to chew with my mouth open, and bro, living in an abandoned house, I wish I could show you it, but the place got bought and is now beautiful. But living in an abandoned home, you don't have any fucking means of anything. We ate at the soup kitchen every single night. So whatever
Right.
food we got at the soup kitchen and whatever food I got at school, that's all the food we got. We don't got food at home. We don't got shit, unless my mom sometimes buys Chinese food for us to split. So I'm just coming into a fucking home that has food, unlimited food. They have food in the fridge, they have food in the freezer, they have electricity. It's unlimited food. They have unlimited snacks, they have Doritos, they have all the things that I
Right.
love to eat. So I'm hoarding them, I'm stealing them, I'm taking them, and then I'm labeled a thief. And then I'm like, why? And then another point is I talked about boys, or I passed notes about boys in school. And I wrote about Zac Efron one time, and I was like, I'm gonna have Zac Efron's baby. And because my adopted mom didn't know who Zac Efron was and just saw that I wanted to have a baby in 8th grade, she was just like, "You fucking hussy harlot." And then wrote in my files that I was promiscuous and that I was a thief. But the thing I was stealing was food. The thing I was promiscuous about was Zac Efron from High School Musical. The things that I was just like, she would put things in context. Like I ran away, but I ran away to a relative's house, or I ran away to my best friend's house down the street. Like she would just be like, oh, she's a runaway. So like, I feel like this bitch shaped all of my foster care life because she wrote in these files to the next foster person. Like every foster person sees your files. Like as
Right.
long as you're in foster care, you have files, so they have access to it. And she wrote all of these things, that I have a dysfunctional family, which is true. She said all of these things, that I was a thief, but I'm stealing food. I never stole money. I've never stolen
Right, which
anybody's
is
money.
really
I
crazy.
go,
So when you think about it, and I'm sure that these people had to know a little bit about the background that you were in when they were getting you, right? So I would assume if I'm going to be fostering a child that I knew grew up in an environment where they had parents that were addicted to drugs and possibly living in abandoned houses, they're probably not going to be used to eating whenever they want. So I'm, and this is coming from someone who is thinking about other people. I would think that someone who is in a situation like that probably will hoard food because they don't know when the fuck their next meal is going to come. It's going to take a little bit of time before I am out of that environment. I'm like, oh, I actually don't have to worry about food anymore.
right, I
Like,
don't have to take this. Because asking foster, my adopted mom, you can ask her if I ever stole money. I never in my life has stolen money from anyone, ever. Who am I stealing money from? What am I stealing money for? The only thing I've ever stole, Walmart, if you hear me, shout out. Why am I scanning my own shit in the first place? Anyway. Because that's the only thing I've ever taken. But money, what am I gonna do? And I'm gonna steal it from somebody that I live with. I stole birth control pills because it was a dire situation. I thought I
and it
was
wasn't
gonna
even
die if I
feeling
had
since
a
you asked the
baby.
girl.
Right. And I asked the girl, but because I went into the mom's
Bro,
bedroom,
yeah.
well, the mom's bedroom, I was like, hey, can I go spray myself with your perfume? Because she had Clinique Happy, which is my literal favorite fucking perfume. I love that perfume so much. And she had that. So I was like, can I spray some perfume? And she was like, yes. So I went and sprayed some perfume. And then I was like, well, since I'm here, I might as well just take those little pills I had asked for earlier. This is now the time. It's now or never.
And instead of coming down on you like you're some kind of criminal, maybe be like, hey, why, like, do you feel scared to like come to me? Like, let's work on that. Or, hey, like, what are you scared to tell me about? Because whatever you're scared to tell me about, let's work on that. Because if you are a teenager having sex, let's see if we can maybe get it as safe as possible. Let's
Right.
get you on birth control. Let's make sure you have condoms. Let's make sure you know what you need to know because I don't know what you know since you've been getting bounced around all here and there. So to just automatically be like, oh my God, you're a horrible person when you're a teenager in foster care is just mind blowing to me.
Right. But also, when you read in those files that I'm a thief, you're going to be like, oh, well, this makes fucking sense. She be stealing.
Right, but like, look at what you're stealing, like you've said. Look at what you're
Right.
stealing. You're not stealing jewels. You're not stealing jewelry. You're not stealing money. You're not stealing keys to a car and then going on joyrides and crashing cars. You're literally stealing food because you grew up in a place in an environment where you didn't know where your next meal was coming from or if you would even have one. You have no idea if the last time you ate was going to be the last time you ate. So you enter and you're like, oh, they got chips. I'm going to take these chips. Because if there ever comes a time where I'm hungry and they're not feeding me, I have these chips.
I have these chips.
And every day that you're eating and getting fed, you're like, okay, well, there was a time when I was eating, so, but then that stopped.
Right.
So
And it wasn't like I was stealing food the entire time I lived there, because I lived there from when I was 9 to when I was 14. So 5
that's a
years.
decent chunk of
It was
time.
it was the first year I needed to get acclimated, but she hated me. My adopted mom hated me. Like, I can't stress enough how much my adopted mom loathed me. Like, there was no reason why she should have even adopted me. Like, there's absolutely no reason. And then, like, maybe 10 years ago, after I was in college, because I ended up going to college, the same college her son like did a swim meet in or some shit like that. But anyway, she fucking wrote to me and was like, "Oh, I was on Zoloft. I'm so sorry for the person that I was." Like, bitch, you were 38 when I was 9 years old. You were 38 years old. That is only 5 years older than what I am now. And I could not imagine being such a fucking awful person that there would be times that I would, you ever, I don't know. See, she has me stumbling because I don't even know how to
And
explain it.
but that's the type of shit that traumatizes and carries. That's what I'm saying. Like, especially in your formative years. Those years, literally like 9 to like 15, 16 years old, those are like really like your like you're trying to figure out who you are, where you fit in the world, and you're literally being bounced around by people who are like not even giving you the time to let you feel safe and worth.
Right. Like, she was the type of person that I wanted her to love me so bad that I would have done anything. I would have done anything for her to just love me, and she didn't. And I just wanted it so bad. And it was so sad because I would like paint her things and I would write her letters and I would try to do things, and it just never worked. Nothing worked. It was just like, I don't know what to do to make you love me. Like, my adopted dad was great. He was fine. He was very like calm. Like, he was very understanding with me. He was not mean at all. Like, I loved my adopted dad. He was great. But she just, I don't know what I did. I don't know
It
if it
wasn't you.
upset her.
It wasn't
Right,
you.
but being a 9-year-old
You
child
don't know
and
that, of course.
already being through what I've been through, and I'm finally getting into a family that they have family dinner at 5 o'clock. They have dinner every single night at 5 o'clock. She's a stay-at-home mom. They have news on every day. I get to watch Everybody Loves Raymond. I get to go to the grandparents' house and I get to play games, and it felt like what a family should be, but I didn't belong. Like, I was the redheaded stepchild in an all literal sense and term.
Right.
I was the black sheep. I didn't belong. I wanted to experience all these things so bad, and I was given it, and they were like, "You don't belong here. This is not for you."
Which is so crazy because, yeah, it's like you said, then why bother adopting?
You could have just left me in the system because, but enough about me.
No,
Let's talk about.
it is important though because, like you said, that type of stuff does stay with you and it does shape you. And when people keep on leaving, like obviously different levels of it, but like when people are constantly leaving your life, it makes you think that there's like that you're not worth them sticking around. But that's why it's so important to make sure that you realize that a lot of the times it's a short within themselves. Something within them is coming up short, and either they see it in you and it makes them uncomfortable, or they're just really not meant to be in your orbit. So, and it sucks when these people come into our circle and harm us, whether it's emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, like whatever it is. Like, you don't have to go into other people's lives and cause harm. You don't have to bring people into your life just to cause harm. Kindness
Right.
goes so far, and it's so easy to choose kindness. That's why I don't understand choosing to be harmful to anyone, because
Which
it's
is
so easy to choose
what's
kindness.
crazy is that I have 1,001 reason to be the most hateful person,
You do. You really
to
do.
be a bully, to be a fucking bitch, to be the person that they say, "That's just Jen, she's just a little bit, you'll get used to it. That's just the way she is. She's just a little harsh."
But you're
I
literally
have a
genuinely one of the
thousand and
most
one
kindest, compassionate, generous, genuine, loving people that has ever been.
I just be trying. Like, I don't get myself, well, I did involve myself in drama a couple years ago, but I'm not a drama filled person.
No,
You
you
feel
don't
me?
go out. You don't go out starting issues. You don't start problems.
I don't. I
That's
try
why
to keep to myself.
we've literally been friends for like fucking God, what, like 20 fucking years now almost, if
Yeah,
that.
since I was 14.
So like there are plenty of like I've had friends obviously that have lasted long times too and over 10 years and lifelong friends and shit too, but like we talk to each other on a daily basis. At most, we have a little tick when we're both in our moods and we have an attitude. We're literally both two mentally ill people raw dogging life. Like
Right.
but we always talk to each other. We get through whatever it is, make sure that we both understand each other and keep it moving.
The good thing about us though is that we are socially and mentally aware of what we're doing and like self-aware. So like when I lash out, I know I'm lashing out for
Yeah.
not a good reason. And same for you, like when you like if you feel like you're in the wrong, you'll apologize, and if I feel like I'm in the wrong, I'll be like, okay, I'm sorry, like that's totally uncalled for, I'm just in a bad mood, I'm cranky, and this is getting me heated, and I'm already heated, so I'm just
Right, and I'm
taking all
so
the heat and
easily
going like
heated
this.
because I'm fucking neurodivergent that I just get passionate about anything, and I'm just like,
Right.
oh, I'm calm. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's take a step back real quick and reassess.
Right.
Like,
Right. And sometimes texts, because I read them in my head the way I want to read them. Like, you know, a text is like a book. you know, like, you know, how you read a book, I read a text message. Like, so sometimes I read it with too much emphasis or too much where I'm just like, oh, is that an attitude? Oh, bet. So like sometimes I'm just like, hey, especially during the week before my period, God, I'm a fucking rager, which is during this time. And yeah, I just every little thing just pisses me off. Like I feel it's like something that's in my chest that I can't even help.
I think it's the constant overstimulation, especially because, and we'll definitely be covering this more in the later episodes that deal with this. But first off, it's not easy to go through what you went through with the possibility of undiagnosed autism with the ADHD because now you've got foster people that are literally expecting you to be entirely normal and
Right.
you're trying to like mask and be like, okay, well, what the fuck is normal? Because like that's what's so hard for us is like everybody's like, oh, you're not normal. And I'm like, but what am I doing that's like so out there that's like that you have to feel the need to tell me that I'm not normal. So you know that I'm traumatized. You know that I'm a child that came from a traumatizing situation and environment. Already right there, you should know that I'm not going to be normal. And to expect normality from something like that, you were already expecting me to fail.
I feel like so when I was 9, just like I talk now, I talked like that when I was 9, where I would just like try to rationalize things because I've always needed things to make sense. You know what I mean? I've always needed things to, and if it didn't go together, I need it. I need it. I need it. I need it to make sense. So when I was younger, when I would speak, it just sounded like, oh, she's fucking fine. Like I'm saying now, like if I talk to somebody, if I conversate, even if I'm friends with somebody for a year and I don't get to the fucking trauma parts because you don't want to trauma dump on new friends. You don't want to give them that. You scare them the fuck away. But over time, when you get to know these friends and you start to tell them things, anybody that I've ever told about my past or my history, they're like, "Damn, I would have never even thought that." Like, of course you wouldn't. Of course you would never think that I lived in an abandoned house and I didn't have like sometimes you'll ask me like, "Bitch, you never watched that show?" And I'm like, "Bitch, I didn't have electricity with
And I
what
genuinely
TV."
literally forget because I literally sometimes cannot fathom that you went through that and aren't literally strung out somewhere on the street.
Mary Jane is my only friend.
And it's really crazy because um like I said, well, this is for obviously later episode, but I'm still going to touch on it now because it's still relevant to a lot of the stuff now. A lot of the research that I have done, it makes sense why so many women go undiagnosed with autism, ADHD, and shit like that because everything that you would do, that a boy would do, they're like, oh, well, he's just a boy. He's just rambunctious. You need to sit down and stop moving. Why are you running around so much? Don't get your dress dirty. Don't get dirty. Don't get your hair messed. Like, you're like a doll. Like, they treat little girls like dolls. They're not allowed to go out and like get dirty and play. So like when little girls grow up getting to have that, they're like, I don't want to say it's more well adjusted because that has nothing really to do with it, but they're a little bit more sure of themselves because they were treated as a person instead of an object.
Right.
So when you spend your entire life being treated as an object, oh, Jen, you have to sit like this. Oh, Jen, don't put your elbows on the Jen, don't do that. Jen, don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. But then you see the regular kids, what they consider the regular kids, carte blanche to just do whatever, and you're like sitting there like, but what the fuck am I doing so wrong that I'm not allowed?
Right.
And
You
it's
don't think
literally
the
not
kids,
even you.
right, you don't think the kids at lunch, when I'm going to lunch in school, in elementary school, they're not shoveling their fucking things, their food, so they can run out and
Kids
do
are gross.
recess and have fun? Kids are crazy. And you're telling me, don't I couldn't, so I say I'm from Philadelphia. When you say water, you say water. You when you're from Philadelphia, there's different accents that you have. I've since grown out of my Philly accent, but the one thing that my adopted mom hated with a fucking passion was the way I would say water. I'd be like, "Can I have some water?" And she'd be like, "It's water. It's water." Water. And I literally had to learn how to say it correctly, or I was not allowed to have any water.
But then you're literally like, but I'm not saying, like, what am I saying?
Like, it's literally a Philly accent. You go to that, you go, it's not just me. It's literally a Philly thing. Like,
And because like
what?
literally, and you're literally saying, it's like, but what am I saying? How am I pronouncing it wrong? Because
Because
to
it
you,
is
you're like, I'm saying water. It's just an accent that's making it sound different. So I don't
right.
understand. Like, and as a child, you're literally sitting there like, can you just give me something to drink?
And then another thing is when I was younger, I used to sway a lot. Like, I used to like sway when I would stand still. I would just sway a little bit, which is kind of creepy. I get it, but I would sway.
It's actually a well-known stim.
So I would do this, and that would drive her. Stay still.
And that's what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, if a boy was sitting next to you, bouncing around, turning around, climbing on the couch and jumping, oh, he's just being a boy. He's just being rambunctious. Sit down. And
Boys
it's
will
like,
be boys.
and you're sitting here like, and then because now like I said, on top of all the research, I've actually, one of the creators I follow, her and her son are both on the journey of exploring autism ADHD. She got diagnosed at 49. She's like 51. He got diagnosed early enough, and now he's 17. He got diagnosed, I think, at like 2.
Oh shit.
Like she got him diagnosed. I gotta look it up. I'll make sure I look that up for my reference for the later episode. But when she was getting him tested is when she realized,
She was
wait,
like, "Oh shit."
there might be something to this. And then when you find out that it's actually hereditary, like autism will pass on autism. Like it, and the more chances, the more autistic parent there is. If two parents are neurodivergent, that kid's not going to be neurotypical. It's going to be neurodivergent, whether it's going to have the full gamut of it, or just like a little autism, a little ADHD here. Like it's just really crazy that first off, there ain't no normal people. And in the early '90s, they didn't have the right testing to diagnose autism fully right away. So back then, when he was born, they were
90s.
just like,
Right. He was, hold on.
no, that's what I'm saying.
2020s.
For me, even they couldn't even diagnose me properly. I couldn't even imagine for him, and he's how much older?
He's 46, so he was born in 1979.
Yeah, no, they're lucky you even knew you had a brother. I'm so serious. That was still times when they were like, yeah, no, send him to the asylum or send him to the nut house or some shit. Like, send them away. Like,
I mean, that is true.
and then don't even talk about it ever again. You're lucky that, like, he's lucky that y'all even know he exists. Shit, that time they were not trying to diagnose shit. That's why I'm like, yeah, no, in the '90s even, because in the '90s, because I had no developmental disability whatsoever, they were like, oh yeah, no, he's fine. And then when they tested me later, they were like, actually, he's gifted. And I'm like, yeah,
Same,
okay,
same.
but I don't understand social cues. And I have extreme rejection sensitivity dysphoria. I know now that that's what that was that would cause me to have meltdowns back then when I was little. And like my best friend growing up, who's still my best friend, one of my best friends, he's like my brother. When we were little, a new kid moved in to the school. And, in that school, it was a Catholic school I grew up in. classes were very small. It was like the same 20 kids, and you grew up with them same kids in all the classes. Maybe a few changed here or there, depending, but like I was with the same kids from nursery all the way to like fourth grade when I moved. And this new kid had moved, and I guess he decided that he wanted to be friends with my brother, who I hung out with and talked to and played with all the time. So now I'm sitting here like, okay, well, are we going to play? And he was like, yeah, after I play with him or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't understand that because I don't have other friends. You're my only friend. We play together. Bitch, when that bell rang and playtime was over in that pre-K class, it was either pre-K or first grade because it was the same teacher for both of those grades. And I remember the teacher. By the way, it ended. The day was like over. Parents came to get us. I still vividly remember this meltdown of all meltdowns because we didn't get to play together.
Oh shit.
Nobody could calm me down because I couldn't even understand what I was feeling. One, I'm a child. Two, that's not normal. That extreme reaction to being rejected is not normal.
Right.
That right there should have been the sign that there was something up. But because of the time that it was, it's just a kid having a temper tantrum.
Right.
And it's crazy how vivid I couldn't tell you like what I said, what I did or whatever. I just remember having the meltdown. And it's actually the reason why is because it was so embarrassing because I'm so self-aware that I'm realizing that I'm doing this in the middle of class for what fucking reason. So that's a memory that when I started learning about like rejection, sensitivity, dysphoria, that is something that memory was like, wait a minute. And then it clicked. So there's been a lot of times where like abandonment has triggered that type of feeling and it causes me to spiral. And then afterwards I'm sitting there like, bro, like what was the big deal?
Right.
In the middle of it, I'm like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. Everybody's leaving me. And then after it's all done and the person's gone and it's like, okay, well, like, yeah, I loved them and I missed them, but like, it wasn't that serious. Like, to do all that. Like, come on.
Right.
So that's why it's like these next few episodes definitely all tie together because it's like a lot of stuff. I feel like if we had more resources for mental health and just health in general, a lot of our shit probably wouldn't have gone the ways it's gone.
I mean, I think mine still would have
Well,
probably gone this.
but let me,
I don't think
but
my mom was getting nobody tested. She was
well, but
doing
no, but let me,
drogas.
but if our country actually had the resources from the time that we could have had the resources, where even your mother or your father could have gotten a hold of those resources, maybe it could have. But because our government has never given a fuck about its citizens to invest in that kind of shit.
Well, I mean, it invested enough for my mom to be able to get disability based on having bipolar disorder. Like, my mom has worked one job in her whole life. And ever since she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and said that she can't work because she'll flip the fuck out, they were like, okay, you can't work. It's a disability. And then she's
I
lived
cannot
off the
work. I will
government.
beat these dumbasses' asses.
Like, that's how I feel, bitch.
Right. Like, that's just customer service. That's just retail.
But she has lived off the system, which is wild. Okay. Another trauma that shaped me is being a No Sabos kid. Okay? Being a No Sabo kid, living in Florida is the worst thing in the entire world. Everybody speaks Spanish here. Bilingual jobs pay you so much more. And the disgusting thing is that my mom and dad taught me Spanish only for their own benefit. The only Spanish phrase that I learned from them was how to exchange food stamps for money.
I'm screaming.
Literally, mi mamá dice si tú puedo cambiar 20 pesos en cupones, is my mom would like to know if she can trade 20 or exchange $20 for food stamps for $20 cash. Or maybe not $20 food stamps, but can she trade food stamps for $20 in
Right.
cash?
That's. They're like, we're not going to teach you to actually speak the language. We're just going to teach you
Right.
to do this.
We're gonna teach you because it's cute. Because it's cute. And the guy at the fucking bodega is like, oh, this cute little white little gringa. She's fucking coming to me speaking Spanish. And that was the only thing I learned. It was the only thing I learned.
Jesus Christ.
How am I indigenous Puerto Rican? My family, my bloodline, my ancestry is from the island. I'm indigenous to the island, and you didn't teach me my people's language. You
Same
let
here. My
that
mother
shit
did not.
die.
And every time I would see him and hear all my family speaking Spanish to each other, and I would just be like, yo, teach me. And they'd be like, nah. You got a white
No.
you got a white dad. It's fine. You don't need to learn.
Like, I didn't tell you to sleep with a fucking white person. My dad was like, we're in America. Puerto Rico has always been a part of the Americas since we made it a fucking territory. So since your bitch ass has been born, Dad, and you're
Right.
dead, so I'm not gonna yell at you, but since your bitch ass was born, we was part of the Americas, and you learned Spanish.
Right.
You learned Spanish. Your parents taught you Spanish, so why don't I know any?
Yeah, no, it's just like, teach me the fucking language. Because,
Right.
one, it's a beautiful language, and two, why would you not want me to know our tongue?
Right. And I can roll my R's, bitch. Come on, that's so nice.
And I want to be able to talk shit about people when they don't understand.
Right.
And not be the one that gets talking shit about, because I know my parent, I know my mom and aunt when I was young used to be talking my business.
I'm crying. The only things I know how to say in Spanish is, can I fucking exchange food stamps and the Forever 21
I was going to
return
say the Forever
policy.
21 return policy. Yeah.
But that was out of necessity. Because we were attacked that one time.
So, I don't have a big family. My family has always been like very, very small. A lot of my mom's side of the family all died before she had even met my dad. So that was like a big chunk of family that I never got to meet. A lot of them passed from specifically female type cancers. So that's something that's on that side of my family. So honestly, if I ever did have children, which I probably won't, and it was a daughter, I would want her to be on top of that, because female health on my mom's side of the family has been very I mean, the cancers are specifically like uterine and like vulvan,
Right.
like ovarian, and it's like, damn, like that's not even anything that men can have. Like, yeah, okay, men can get breast cancer too, but like those cancers are specific. So I was like my mother had dealt with stuff like that. My grandmother, who had passed from cancer, she actually refused treatment. But not only did she refuse treatment, she had refused to even let us know that she was sick.
Yeah.
And I already had lost grandparents on my dad's side, because my dad's side was kind of like a bigger side of the family, but still not really that big, because it was only just him and his sister, so my aunt, and then they had some cousins. I think it was like two cousins, two brothers that were cousins on that side, who I grew up with as my uncles. They had some kids. We've had kids. My one aunt, actually, she couldn't have kids, so her husband that she had, my Uncle Tim, his son, she had adopted as like her stepson. So this side of the family, my dad's side of the family, it's like me and then his cousin's kids.
Right.
And like that's it. On my mom's side of the family, we have she's her and her twin sisters. So my aunt that's the aunt that's always been around. And they have two younger sisters that I grew up with as aunts, and then there's another sister that had moved to Puerto Rico before I was born that I never got to meet. I know she's got some kids. We have no idea where they are or if they're even
Oh,
alive,
shit.
because of all the storms and crazy shit that's going on in Puerto Rico. We have no idea if any of our family is still alive that is there because we haven't been able to recontact them or get in contact with them. So I don't know about that side. And otherwise, it's just me and my cousin. So, like, my family is not big. So when family members drop in my family, it's like kind of like a big thing. So, like,
Right.
my grandmother on my dad's side passed around Christmas time, literally when I was turning 5. So I think when I was so the Christmas of when I was 4 years old. And I remember it. I remember her coming home from the hospital being fine, and then all of a sudden being gone. And like, what the
Hmm.
hell? So that was crazy. My grandpa, um, I didn't get to say goodbye to him or anything when he passed. I actually still had harbored a lot of anger because for some reason, I guess because when I was younger, I didn't understand like when you spent that much time married together and someone dies, just go and get like remarried and shit. I didn't understand it because I never met this lady, and I'm like, I'm not calling her grandma. Like, what the fuck? Like, I had a grandma, so I didn't go say goodbye to him. That was on me. I dealt with that. I faced that myself, and I like grieved the right way for that. But the worst one really was my abuela, which was my mom's mom, because she didn't tell us that she was sick. We hadn't gone to see her for like 5 years before then. My mom kept trying to come for us to go visit. She would just be like, "No, the apartment's a mess because they're working on it. I don't want y'all to see that, and there's nowhere to like really sit or whatever." No, she was just sick and didn't want us to go because if we went and saw that she was sick, we would have forced her to go get treatment. We'd be like, "No, you're
Right.
gonna go fight that." Like, so she literally passed. We literally got the call. I literally came back from like a college seminar to like apply for like loans and scholarships, and my aunt calls and is like that she's basically going, and like that she's in the like they're calling my ambulance and she's in the hospital, whatever. We drove to New York like as fast as we could in the middle through the night, and literally made it 20 to 30 minutes after she passed.
Wow.
So we didn't even get to say goodbye. So that was really bad. That was a really terrible week because now we had to clean out the apartment, set up all the funeral rites, clothes shopping for the last outfit, the burial outfit, and all that. And oh my god, it was such a mess. My mom at some point like completely shut down and was like catatonic for a little while after the casket was lowered. It was really bad. The family fell apart. There was like fighting over stuff, and I was just like, these are just things. I was like, who
Right.
cares? I was like, I took a fucking magnifying glass that was my abuela's. I was like, my stereo system that you can sometimes see. She wanted me to have that. She knew that I wanted that, so she was like, no, ain't nobody else getting that except for my grandson. Um, like I walked around holding this the whole time because it was just hers in her bedroom, and I knew she loved this thing. She used to use it to read all the time and shit. This is what I cared. And y'all sitting there fighting over like money. I would rather have my abuela. Like, so there was a lot, and I had to actually keep being the medium between it all. So I couldn't even really fully grieve on my own because I had to make sure that everybody else was not taking their grief out on each other.
Right.
And it's like there was like my aunt and her husband and my and their daughter. So my abuela's only granddaughter, my cousin, TT, my cousin, my mom, my aunt, my dad. Like my dad was even trying to tell me I have to go back to PA to go to class. I can't miss school. I was like, I ain't going to school. What the fuck? So I was there the whole week. I helped with everything. The only thing I couldn't do was go shopping for the outfit that she was to be buried in. That was the day I broke down. I finally slept, and when I woke up and like realized what was going on, I lost it. I ended up calling my Katie, and I was on the phone with her for like hours finally until finally I calmed down. Like it was crazy. It was really bad. Me and my dad were fighting. Like it was so bad that like my mom's best friend, who I grew up with calling Titi Kathy, had to actually get in between me and my dad because of how
Oh
crazy it
shit.
got at the funeral. Because now, like, obviously everybody was on edge. We're grieving and stuff, but he kept like rushing us for a taxi. He was like, the taxis keep coming and going because we're not leaving fast enough. And I literally told him like, yo, my mom is saying goodbye to her mother. Who gives a fuck about a taxi? We'll get another one.
Right.
And it was like a whole big thing. Already by that point, me and him had already had several fights. So now this kind of exploded. I was in 2009. I was like 17. So I wasn't even really fully an adult yet, but I was still in shape. But I was like, shut up. I was like, this is not the time to be rushing. We're saying goodbye to a loved one. So my aunt got to me. She was like, this isn't the place for that. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I was like, I'm going to walk away. And I did. But yeah, when we lose family, it's like really traumatizing because there's so few of us. Like now it's like the ones in Vermont, like if something were to happen to them, like how are we going to even get to them if something were to happen? That shit's
Right.
mad far. My parents are like older. They have their disabilities. They're not traveling like that for that. That's a long ass drive or a
Right,
flight.
right. The only traumatizing family death that I have is obviously my dad, but I feel like being in foster care kind of ruined my relationship with my family, my biological family, to the point where like I have a huge family. Like my dad had 13 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
So he was part of a huge family. I have cousins after cousins that I don't even speak to. I have cousins in Puerto Rico. I have people that I don't even know about. We have a lot of family. And unfortunately, we didn't stay together. Like nobody talked to my dad. Nobody really bothered with our family because we were poor, we were disgusting, we were living in an abandoned house. Who wants to see us? We're not showering every day, we're not fucking clean, or my
Which is so
parents are
crazy
doing
because you
drugs.
have such a huge family like that. My family is nowhere near that size, and we never would have let any of our family live like that.
At least take the kids out the house. Even if you don't like the parents, take the kids.
Right. There's no
Be like,
reason
nah,
to
this
not.
isn't,
There's no reason
because
to ever just like let
I'm
kids be
sorry.
suffering.
If say you ever have kids and you got into a rough patch, never, this would never happen. But say you got into a rough patch and you started doing drugs, I would be like, I'm just gonna take your kids until you get a little better. I'm gonna take your kids, I'm gonna watch your kids, I'm gonna feed your kids, but you need to get your shit together.
Bitch, if there was
Because do
ever
you
even a time where like I had children and I was like struggling with like just money alone, I would literally like if I knew that I was like struggling to feed my kids or keep the roof over their house, I'd be like, listen, y'all are gonna go stay with Auntie Jen for a little while. Daddy got some shit to work out.
what what is the issue on helping children? We were children.
That's why I don't understand like where society truly went so wrong because I see all the time that people like helping people. So I don't understand why it's such a taboo to want to help others not struggle. I don't give a fuck if I have to help take care of disabled people the rest of my life with my tax money. They shouldn't have to worry about whether they're getting food or taken care of or have a roof over their heads. I
Right.
genuinely don't give a fuck if somebody in a wheelchair doesn't work. I don't give a
They
fuck if
feel like,
someone who's not in a wheelchair doesn't work if they want to be taken care of. I don't give a fuck. It's a
right.
society. We have ample. No one should be traumatized by being poor, homeless, and starving when we have so much excess as a society. Like I don't even have much and I still have stuff that I could give away to people who are less fortunate.
Facts.
So I don't understand not doing that. Like I want to help. I want to help and I don't have it. So like I don't understand having it and not wanting to and letting your family just be traumatized like that. Because we've never done that. Like when my aunt's going through it, we help her. When we're going through it, she helps us. Like it's just how it goes. And I mean, look at us. You're basically my family. When you're going through it and I have it, I help you. And when I'm going through it and you have it, you help me. We help each other.
Right.
Because why not? I don't want to see you down.
Right.
I don't want to be eating knowing your plate's empty. What the fuck is that? I don't want to eat knowing anybody's plate is empty. Why is your plate all the way over there empty? Come get some food.
Or split this with me. If I don't got the money, split it with me.
Have it. Because, like, what? I don't understand letting people experience trauma. And that's why it's like, and that's what the difference is like, I went through it, so everybody else has to go through it. Or I went through it, so I want to make sure no one else goes through it. Don't you think the second one is the better option? I want to make sure no one else ever goes through this bullshit. I don't want to hear any little girls growing up telling me the horror stories that you told me in foster care, or little boys. Like, I don't want to hear nobody going through that shit. I want to make the world better for them.
Right.
I don't want to hear about people living on the street or living out of their cars, stomach growling because they don't know where they're getting food from. I don't want that to be the norm. Why would anybody want that to be the norm? I want that to not exist. I want 100 years from now, people don't even know what homelessness is.
Right. Right.
I don't even want it to be 100. Well, 100 years ago, so that people have literally forgotten. But like, I'd like it if in like 50 years, 20 years, people don't even know what homelessness is. I want that to be forgotten.
What's crazy though is that my family didn't step in to help me, but when my dad died, you went to that celebration of
I
life.
was going to say,
You
yeah, I
saw
remember he
all
had all
those
those people. There was
people. You
so many
saw
people. There had
all
to be at
those people.
least 30,
That's
40 people.
that's not even a portion of all of my family. That's not even a portion of all of my family.
And at least
Because my cousin
as far
Angel
as I
wasn't
remember you
there.
telling me, at least most of those people had been around. At least some of them weren't like.
Right, my cousin Rachel, she wasn't there, but my cousin Raymond wasn't there, my cousin Angel wasn't there, the my other cousins wasn't there. I don't even fucking know their names because I don't know them like that. But when he passed away, that I feel like his death traumatized me, and I had a lot of guilt towards his death
You
because of
did.
Sean. So that really fucked me up for a
You
long
did.
time.
I
I've
remember
made
that.
peace with that, and I talk to my dad all the time now. Like, I just feel like he's just spirit, just like out, that I can just talk to. Like, I talk to God, I talk to him. And I just feel like when he died, I felt like I didn't have enough time. Like, he got diagnosed with cancer in August. I saw him, and then I saw him again in November, like right before Thanksgiving. We went to Philadelphia. Me and Anna went to Philadelphia, and then I saw him, and then two weeks later he was dead. And I feel like I don't know how it happened so fast, and I feel like I didn't get enough time because, being in foster care from 9 to 21, I didn't start talking to them again until I was 17. So 9 to 17, that's 8 years
Right.
of being disconnected from your family, and those are your primitive years. Now I'm 9 to when I'm fucking 17 years old. Now I'm damn near thinking I'm an adult, because when you're 17 you think you're fucking grown. So I was thinking I'm damn near an adult, and
Right.
I'm meeting my parents for the first time, and I'm just like, this is the first time I'm seeing you guys since I was 9 years old. I had rose colored glasses when I was 9. So all I wanted was to be back with my parents, because at least I felt like I belonged there. I felt like my environment suited me. Living in trash must have suited me better, because at least I was treated like I was part of the family, than living in a traditional family home style where I was treated like I didn't
Like
belong.
a fucking pariah with a disease. Like,
So when he passed, I just felt like, even when I dream about him now, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't speak in my dreams, which is weird because I've had dreams about Dana, another friend that passed. That shit broke me.
I remember that.
Um, when Dana died, um, when we were in Puerto Rico, actually, when we were in Puerto Rico, I had a dream
I remember
that
that. Yes.
Dana and my dad was there, and Dana like tackled me. She like ran down this hallway and tackled me, and then I looked up and I was like, who the fuck just tackled me? And it's Dana, and she looked so peaceful and young and just all of these things, and I just couldn't believe that it was her, and I was crying. And then my dad was there, and he was smiling at me, but he never spoke. Dana said, don't cry for me, sweetie, I'm happy. She spoke, but my dad has never said anything in any of my dreams. But I feel like he's at peace. Like, I feel like there's peace, and whenever I dream about him, I don't ever feel like there's something wrong, like he's somewhere he shouldn't be. I feel peace. He just doesn't say anything to me.
Right.
So those were the two deaths that I feel like hit me hard.
Yeah, I
uh
remember because I know you were close with Dana.
I love Dana, and I feel like me and Anna kept trying to make it up to her to say our goodbyes because she also had cancer. So we were trying to make it up to her. And then, like, literally the week before we were supposed to go up to her, she ended up passing. Like, we had made plans. We are like, all right, we're going to come see you next week. And then in that week, she passed.
Yeah, that's really
And
sad.
I just felt so broken. Which is weird because, like, I had only known Dana for a couple of years, but she was like how Lorelai Gilmore is to me, how that was a mom, how your mom is to me. Like, that's a mom. Like,
That's what I'm saying,
she
because she treated you like family.
right. And like, that's what a mom's supposed to be. Like, she let me go in her closet and she let me try on her clothes. And I know that sounds stupid and so trivial, but like, just being able to do those stupid bonding moments with someone, with a mother figure, with somebody, is like, it's irreplaceable. Playing dress up, like, I know I don't seem like the type that wants to play dress up, but I like stupid shit like that. And especially when you're young, you want to feel young. You want to be with your mom and play dress up and wear cute outfits and get dressed up just to drink wine and have sandwiches and watch Sons of Anarchy. Get
Literally,
dressed up to
my mom
just
is
do
always
shit.
trying to like find clothes to pass down to you. She literally hates that she's so small.
I know, it's because I'm a big bitch.
No, she's a tiny little thing. She's always
Yeah,
been so
she is
tiny. She's
tiny.
so small that like I feel like there are sometimes like she could get away with probably buying children's clothes because she's so tiny. And so like when she gets like something that's like a jacket, it's like when she gets like I know like I think she has like a jacket that she's waiting for you to come try on or some shit. I know she's got something. I think she's also got some shoes.
Oh, I love your mom so much.
So she was something, and I was like, oh
Your
no,
mom is
Jen.
a
I was
gem.
like, Jen would love. So I think she's wanted something like that. So don't get rid of that until the next time she comes up.
Right. Don't do it. Oh, I know that like, even though I'm taking a slight pay cut, I'm sorry, this is off topic. I have ADHD, guys. Fuck off. Um, but because I get this new job, I'll have health insurance and then I'll get ADHD medication and then I'll be better. But until then, suck a dick and listen to what I got to say.
It's okay. That's just the stuff that fluffs the video. That then I guess you just cut out later on and just laugh at it
No, keep that
myself.
in.
Oh, okay.
Keep it in. Keep it in and let them know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not aggressive normally. It's the week before, so I told you guys. Yes. What was I talking about? ADHD.
It's fine. It
Can't
all blends
remember.
together for the next 3 episodes. So
It does. The last traumatizing thing, though, we have to talk about is buying insurance from Walmart.
yeah,
My
'cause I
traumatizing experience of
was thinking
purchasing. Oh,
all of
that's what I was
we got
saying.
like the crazy shit out of the way. That's like okay, heartbreaking. Now we can talk about the stuff that like everybody's kind of maybe going through.
Right. So, maybe not everybody's gone through this because maybe not everybody is stupid enough to sign up
No,
for
I feel like he's gotten other people with that. That's why he's been able to just be in the parking lot and just get.
So that is what I was actually saying before when I said, what was I talking about? I was talking about insurance. So with this new job, I'll have enough health insurance now because now this job offers health insurance. Like, who doesn't offer health insurance these days? But anyway, but now this new job offers health insurance. So I feel like my mental health and my mental crises that I've just been raw dogging for the last year and a half is gonna be fixed. But anyway, let's talk about how I was bamboozled in the
Bamboozled in
Walmart parking lot.
Shanghai.
So I lived right across the street. I live in Orlando. So I lived right across the street from a Walmart. Hype. I don't even got to drive. It actually is longer because Florida Lights, if you've ever been in Florida, then you know Florida Lights is wild.
They
So
really
it's
are.
actually
No, they're
it
extreme. It would probably turn a
and
5 minute walk, if that, into like a 20-minute drive.
so literally from the Walmart parking lot, you could see my balcony. So like so close, so close. So I walk over to the Walmart and I'm in the parking lot and this guy stops me. He says, "Halt, miss." He doesn't say that, but I'm for dramatic purposes. He says,
Dramatization.
traumatization, exactly. He says, "Halt, miss." And of course I halt. Why do I halt? I don't know, but I do. I halt. And I say, yes. What can I do for you? He says, are you looking for health insurance? I said, I already got health insurance. Actually, I have health insurance through my job because my other job, like a normal job, had health insurance. So I was like, oh, I have health insurance. He was like, listen, it's free and it's supplemental. So that means that if you have leftovers from your other insurance, this insurance will cover the balance. So I was like,
Okay.
that
I
doesn't
mean, it
sound
makes
too
sense
bad.
on paper when you say it like that.
Right. So then he was like, it's called My Florida Blue. So I was like, okay, that sounds pretty legit. And then he asked me to sign all this stuff. And he was like, well, how much do you make? And I was like, oh, I make $20 an hour. And he was like, oh, okay. He's like, are you married? And I was like, we're separated. And he was like, yeah, so we won't even add anything on there. We're not going to fucking add anything on there. So that's fine. So I was like, okay, awesome. And he was like, yeah, no problem. You're not going to pay anything. Actually, it came back and you get it for free. And I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Thanks, man.
Right? Thanks, random insurance salesman.
No thanks, man. So now it's 2025, 2026 year. Well, 2025 tax season. And I'm filing for my 2025 taxes. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, did you have a 1095A? And I'm like, no, bitch, my job doesn't offer me health insurance. So this year I didn't have any because I can't afford it. So there was like, no, bitch, you did have health insurance. And I was like, what are you talking about? I don't have no health insurance. I don't have health insurance. What are you talking about? They was like, no, bitch, you did. You had it. So then I'm like, is this supplemental health insurance? What the fuck they're talking about? So then I call the supplemental health insurance and I'm like, ring a ding ding. Hello. Hello. What is this? And she's like, oh, yeah, you do have a 1095. Yes, you do. And here's all the information that you need. So I was like, excellent.
Bitch, I didn't
That's
mail that
great.
shit to you?
So I don't have mailboxes here yet. So it all goes to the front office and we have mailboxes in the front office, but the front office closes at 5 every day. And how am I supposed to get my mail? And they're closed on the weekends.
And you get out at 5:30. Sitting
So
here like, oh, I don't have this 1095 thing. And your mailbox is like, I beg to differ.
so I was like, ring a ding ding. Well, also the 1095, like the healthcare.gov or whatever was saying that they didn't have any information available about a 1095. So I just kept saying, no, I don't have a 1095. I don't have insurance.
Right.
So ring a ding ding, we're still on the phone. She's like, here's your information. This is all of the things that you use. Thank you. So I said, great. Magic. So then I input everything into TurboTax. TurboTax is like, yes, you're getting back $1,200. Congratulations. And I'm like, $1,200, that's really fucking great. I don't have no kids. I don't got shit. That's pretty good money to me to get back. And they're like, but wait a second.
But wait, there's more.
Wait. They were like, $975 is actually owed to us because the guy in the Walmart parking lot, they didn't say this because they don't know about him, but the guy in the Walmart parking lot actually miscalculated your income and you actually made more than what he said you did. So you shouldn't have gotten that much of a credit. So now you owe us. Congratulations. So we're going to take $975. So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. So I'm going to get like $200 back. And then TurboTax is like, whoa, this is no longer simple. You made this unsimple. So now we require $50. So I'm like, so y'all finna just take all my taxes. So now I didn't even file because I'm like, fuck you. You're gonna get your money when I say you get your money. So now they're waiting until April 10th. When the taxes is due, you'll get your taxes when they're due. Gang gang. So moral of the story is don't get swindled into supplemental insurance. And then if you do, don't forget to cancel it. Cancel it. Cancel the subscription.
I
When
feel
you
like
start making more money,
maybe an addendum onto that is don't do deals with shady businessmen in Walmart parking lots.
right. But see, this is the problem with me because I've also been swindled before by a Mormon man, but that was because of his looks. And again, near the Walmarts. Near the Walmarts. It was on the way back from the Walmarts. I was walking you know, doing my little walkie. And he was a guy I should have known. I didn't know. I should have. But he was in like a button-up shirt. He was speaking Spanish to like the Spanish couple at first. So I just was walking because, you know, I was like, oh, he's fine. And he speaks Spanish, but he looked like a gringo. So I was like, okay. We all come in all different shades and colors and shapes and sizes, okay? So I was happy. So I was just walking by. I was just like, oh, he's fine. Then he's like on his little bicycle after he's done talking to the couple. He comes riding up on me. And I was like, oh, what can I do for you, sir? And he was like, do you believe in the Lord? And I was like, for you, any goddamn day. I believe in the Lord Jesus, Monte Cristo Christ. And he was like, okay, like, are you interested in going to church or something? And I was like, you know what? I'm actually looking right now to go to a church. Did you know that, sir? Right this instant. I was really just looking. I was thinking to
I
myself,
was
you know
actually
what would really be
browsing.
nice?
I'm in the
You know what would
market.
be really nice right now if someone would just offer me a church. Like, I'm so happy. So he was like, that's great. Can I take down your number? I'm going to text you about my church. And I was like, you know what? That sounds amazing. As I said, can I bring my roommate? And he said, of course, the more the merrier. So then I get the only Bible that I have, which is a pretty Bible that I bought at the fucking flea market from you for 50 cents. It's a Catholic Bible with gold fucking rimmed pages.
You know, it's
And
a
I
really
love
pretty
it.
book.
It's a beautiful book. So I'm like, this is mine, even though I'm not Catholic and I don't study Catholicism. This is great. This is the book that I'm going to bring because I need to bring this prestigious book. Like, what other book should I bring to this man, this beautiful man that I'm trying to impress, you know? Well, that's not the book that I should have brought because we went to this church and the pastor was like, in the Book of Mormon. And I said, I'm sorry. In the book of who? In the book of who? And then he kept on reading. And then he was like talking about how his mom, I think we went on Mother's Day of all days. So he was like talking about how his mom was like the model woman and they went on missions and every Sunday they were going to, and I was like, wow, these are like really religious people. Like, that's real nice. Like this lady is like super religious. Like, she gave up her whole life to be just a religious mom. That's crazy. Holy shit. Yeah, it turns out as soon as they said in the Book of Mormon, I was like, oh shit, we don't belong here. We don't belong here. Let's get up and leave. So we slowly got up and left, and I blocked that fine ass Mormon man, and I never saw him again. And he didn't even come to the church service. So I brought the Bible to impress him, and he wasn't even there. You swindling ass swindle bitch. So this is what the Mormon church is doing. They picking the finest men, speaking Spanish and English, looking fine, looking crisp and juicy in those motherfucking button-up shirts, all to get us to go. And then they don't even show up. We was texting that whole time. You said you was gonna be there, and then you didn't even show up. That's my story.
I think I would
Thank you for
prefer
coming.
that story over my car accidents that left me traumatized, and that's why I
Oh
don't really
shit.
like driving as passengers ever, because I was the one was worse than the other. And matter of fact, it would have been worse when I tell the story. So this day, it actually wasn't even just supposed to be me that got picked up. I remember, I don't know if you remember, we were supposed to be going to Ray's. Me, you, Demi, Jeremy, and Mark was picking us up. We were all supposed to go, and I don't remember what happened, but like Jeremy got grounded. You had plans come up. Demi had plans come up. Like everybody had plans come up except me. So I was like, well, fuck it. I don't got nothing else to do, so I'm gonna go, right? Mark picks me up. He don't speak. I know that he had his ex over the previous night, and they had been drinking. So when he handed me the bottle, I thought that's what that was. We're driving through the community. It's fine. All of a sudden, he sees like some girl and starts like talking about like how hot she looks running and whatever, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, I catch the whiff of alcohol, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, is he? And now at this point, we're driving. So I'm like, bro, have you been drinking? And he was like, yeah, but not much from that. And I was like, I looked at the bottle. I was like, wait, from this? And it's like a half a bottle of vodka that's left. And I was like, he was like, yeah. And I was like, wait, you drank? I was like, oh no. I was like, but wherever we are, I can't just get out of the car. It's back windy roads. And I'm like in hindsight, I probably should have just gotten out of the car, but I still would have been in a dangerous situation because there's no sidewalk where that is. So like where cars are coming around, how windy it is, like I would have been in danger. So and I'm like really nervous. He's like swerving, and I'm like, okay, like you need to like calm down, right? We're like a minute. Literally, like if we would have went over the hill, it would have been a left, and we would have been at the house. He somehow lost control of the car. Car starts spinning. He goes one way, one way, one way, and we just hit this fucking big ass boulder, and it fucking launches us airborne, yo. That shit, we landed sideways in the car. When we finally stopped and came to a halt, we were literally sideways, and I was really like in the air. I was really like, oh my god! I looked around. The whole back seat was filled with rocks, gravel, broken glass from the windows. There was like because like the way the car slid, the windows were open, so all that shit just scooped into the back seat of the car. Whoever would have been in that back seat would have been dead. All three of you would have been, and whoever maybe would have been behind me, maybe would have been a little bit more okay. But whoever
You
was
could
behind
get me over
him,
there.
whoever would have
I
been
would
behind him
gladly
would have
sit behind
been
him.
done. Like that shit was great. So I get out of the car. I have to lift that door, and I was like, "Holy shit, car doors are heavy." I've never had to lift a fucking car door before. I get him out of the car. I call my friend. I'm like, "Yo, come get me." I left his ass there. I was like, "Nah, absolutely not." Because if those cops come and they turn around and be like, "What happened?" I'm like, "This motherfucker was drunk and driving crazy." I didn't do that because I was a stupid ass teenager, and I wasn't trying to be involved with that shit. So I called my friend. He came and got me, right? But he came to get me. We're at his house. Him and his girl flipping out. Oh my God, he could have ended your life. Like, you're getting ready to go to college and do something with your life and this, that, and the other. And I'm just sitting there like, but can I smoke a cigarette? Because, like, I'm really. And they're just going. And I'm like, can I smoke a cigarette? They're just like still going. And I'm just like, guys, I can smoke a cigarette. What room can I go to? Because they didn't smoke all in their house. And they were like, oh, yeah, all right, it's fine. I called some people and I was like, oh my God, it was crazy. That accident traumatized me from driving with passengers, like that I don't like no, like if they're like how they are, like I don't like getting picked up by people. I don't know what state you're in. So like that's the problem now. My other car accident was I pulled up to a green light. There's cars in front of me that are stopped. And I'm like, okay, it's a green light, but we're stopped. Car behind me, Ford F-150, decided that because he saw the light was green, he decided to reach down for a fallen water bottle and just smashed right the fuck into me. I had a passenger with me. We were literally trying to apply for more jobs. We were literally trying to better our lives. Well, we ended up in the hospital. She ended up with severe whiplash. She literally ended up in a neck brace. That's how bad the whiplash was to her. I ended up getting a brace for my wrist. I had some whiplash. It was fucking crazy. And my car got totaled. I didn't even have the car for a year. It took me mad long to find it. And it was totaled. They smashed my shit. I was so upset. And because of that now, stopping at a green light actually still gives me anxiety. Like if somebody stopped at a green light in front of me, like they literally are not going, and I see cars coming up behind me, I literally start panicking. I'm like, are you even gonna stop because you see it's a green light? You're just gonna keep going?
See, I don't get that way. Unfortunately, I haven't been traumatized by that. I get in fucking raged. If I see that the light is green and you are not going, or you are stayed, or we're stopped and it's green, I just want to lose my marbles.
That happens a lot by the Wawa. The Wawa by me, for some
Oh my
reason,
god.
I'll see it's green. I'll see it's green from down by the fucking tattoo shop by Muller's. And I'm driving and it's green. And why am I hitting my brakes? Why are we stopping?
To get from me to my job is at least 30 fucking stoplights. And like some of them are left turns. So like the one to get out of my complex, like my apartment, to turn left, I have to wait for the arrow, or I have to
Right.
wait for the light to turn green. Sometimes the arrow is just like, it's just not your time, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, I know that you're sitting there and I know you've been waiting for the light to turn green, but I'm actually going to turn the opposite traffic lights green right in front of your face. You've been
Trauma.
sitting here for 8 minutes, two
Traumatizing.
songs have passed.
Straight traumatizing.
So this is where I get my anger issues from. It's not from my parents. It's not from my abusive childhood. It's from
It's the
driving
road
and
rage.
driving in Florida.
I understand
And
because they
now
say
that
it
I'm
gets worse the further south you go, and you're like pretty further south. Well, if you've got this far, Bud-ettes, I certainly hope you enjoyed our trauma dumping. Um, and if you were paying attention, you must know at this point what some of our future episodes are going to be about. So you'll see why these next few episodes are going to be all connected, and we'll be revisiting certain topics that we brought up when we talk about the later ones. So make sure you like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good shit, because you don't want to miss a single thing. Remember, episodes air Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is your host, Blazing Dragon,
and Madam Red.
saying good night, good morning, good day, great times to all. Love you, Bud-ettes.
Bye.
Bye.